I have a secret pocket on the inside of my backpack, the zipper hidden beneath a seam in one of the sides. The fabric is thick enough to conceal things like a passport and a reasonable amount of cash. The opposite side is padded to assist in the illusion. My passport and credit card have been sealed in this pocket since I arrived in town and checked into my room, along with a small amount of cash. But most of the cash I withdrew in Goa was still in the cash belt, except for what I had in my pockets at breakfast. It isn't enough for her to retire from being a grifter, but it is enough to send me back home early. The money wasn't technically mine to begin with. It was borrowed. This habit I have of hiding started long before I came to India. Before that, I was in graduate school, which is a good way as any to hide from the world. And with an undergrad degree in philosophy, I had to do something. Because there's no place to post a diploma in a dishwasher's station, I figured graduate school would offer a more promising future. Also, it was an excuse to hide a while longer from the clock punching, rush hour battling, quietly desperate world of career life. Having spent a good deal of my college money on aged port and used books, and grad school being twice as expensive as the bachelor variety, I had to borrow. And since I was going to have to get in bed with the money changers anyway, I decided I might as well borrow enough for a nice bed. And then, well, I put grad school on hold for a while. Anyway, India's better education than you can get in any school. It's just past dawn, the day after the apocalypse of the heart, and I'm sitting in a cafe. Not the one where I met her. I don't think I can go back there, not even to wallow, not even as a fuck you. I want to, though, because it's the only place in town to get a bong lassi, and I need its special blend of numbing clarity right now. If I hadn't screwed up on the island, panicked like I did, I might still be with the Welsh girl with the charming accent, and we'd be someplace else, floating on boats in Kerala maybe. And then there wouldn't have been a window for the green-eyed goddess to climb through with her hammer, and my heart would never have been laid out on the table for her to smash into sea glass-sized pieces, and I'd have money for boat rentals. I stayed outside most of the day yesterday, either in chai stalls or just walking the dusty streets, sitting by the river, watching the sun ease its way across the sky, until it was dark and the lights of the cafes went out one by one. I must have passed out from exhaustion, but I woke up early and couldn't get back to sleep, and all the books in the world couldn't get me to stay in my room alone right now. So I find myself up, dressed and walking down the street even before the cafe opens, causing me to walk casually by the entrance as if I weren't waiting to eat. Once they're open and I'm inside, I order an omelet because, despite my lack of hunger, I read once that protein helps with depression. Even though I can't get enough of the masala dosa, the dosas I eat with my hands. Like I've said, I eat as much as possible with my hands here. It's strangely liberating. I've watched older Indian men dressed in Western clothing carefully balancing their neatly cut breakfasts on silverware, while across the room I sit, a white guy in ragged linen, eating a dosa with his hands. The food arrives and I decide this is no time to start using silverware. But just as I pinch off a bite of my omelet with my fingers, an overwhelming sadness blows through a shattered window in my heart. I realize I'm eating another meal alone, surrounded by strangers, no one else to order with, to feed bites, no one to eat half the breakfast so I won't be so full. All at once I become so unexplainably sad and tired that I literally lose the will to live. It just dissolves into my plate like melting butter into toast. And I no longer even want to lift my hand to my mouth. All I want is to lie down here, right here, on the chairs, across the table, maybe the floor if I can get there, and die. I wonder if it's possible to die right here, if anyone would mind, or if they'd make me move somewhere less conspicuous. Even in remote India, a dead person in your restaurant is probably not good for business. I'm sure there are places in this country where it would be possible, but probably not here. I feel my throat tighten and my eyes begin to swell. Another me takes over. This me lifts the small coffee cup from the table to my mouth, and instinctively I drink. Then I turn my head to the book on the table. There are words underlined. I'm not reading the words though, not the underlined ones, nor any others. I just can't think of anything else to do. I just stare at the symbols on the page. And then it dawns on me what a funny circumstance I'm in. Not just the part about being alone in a cafe across the planet from home, having run out of fuel of life while staring at a plate of fried, liquid, unfertilized chicken gametes, but all the little things that make up daily life, including that somehow these carefully arranged spots, which are made by some process unknown to me and kept in place on this flat, rectangular, dead tree stuff by some other unknown means, are supposed to impart a kind of meaningful message that we've all agreed upon. And then something unexpected happens. I laugh, right out loud, and just like in grade school, I can't seem to stop laughing. I try to hold it in, but it keeps bursting out. And so the others in the cafe don't think I'm batshit crazy, I pretend it's in the book. And I keep snickering until eventually I pay the check and leave. Wandering the streets again, the numbness has taken on a playful hue. The world is colored blue, but it's a blue that's mutable, playing hide and seek with other colors, chasing its shadow, feeding the birds, singing to itself. Barefoot, lungy, dragging along the dirt streets, no shoulder bag, nowhere to be, no thoughts of when. For now, I have surrendered.